So let's kind of string it all together. Let's go back, look at our whole list, okay? The Proverbs Foolishness Index. And here's what I want you to do. Now let's just take a moment and do a little self-evaluation, a little bit of a gut check. Let's just run this little index, let's run this little inventory and apply it to your own life, okay? So just take a look at it. A fool keeps their own counsel, says foolish things, and a foolish person is a lazy person. Any of those apply to you? Now, here's the thing. Throughout our lifetime, I don't care who you are, throughout our lifetime, you're going to get to check at least one of those boxes. Probably more than once. Okay, so if I were to ask you this question throughout your lifetime, you would say, yeah, today I was so checking box number 3. Oh boy. Or yeah, today I checked box number 1. That's part of the human condition, and I'm not making excuses for bad behavior when I say that. But there is a difference between, oh boy, occasionally I behaved foolishly, and man, I am living like a fool right now. And I want you to just take a look at that, because if you're looking at that list and you're thinking, man, right now, I am checking that box and maybe even that box. I'm checking at least 2 out of 3. Maybe I'm checking all 3. And you got to admit, if I'm honest, I'm well on the way of blowing my life up because I'm checking way too many boxes. And I'm living like a fool right now. And so with that in mind, I want you all to know that you can do a lot of damage to yourself by being a fool. You really can. But God can do an awful lot of good, and He can do things for you that you would never imagine if you will move away from foolishness and if you will embrace wisdom. And if you look at that little inventory, you're going, man, right now in my life, I'm checking that box and maybe that box too. Maybe you're checking the whole trifecta, okay? You're just like, yep. One of the best things that you could do would be to admit to yourself, I'm a fool. I'm a fool. And the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Start with that honest gut check and just say, am I that person who always keeps their own counsel and cuts out all wisdom? Am I that person who's foolish with their words and doesn't stop to think about the ramifications of what I'm going to say? Am I that person who's gotten so lazy that I'm like a vandal just tearing up everything around me because of it? I don't care who I hurt. And if that's you, if you look at your index and you're like, yep, then maybe it's time. You looked yourself in the mirror and you said, I'm a fool. I'm a fool. See, those decisions, they tell us if we're in a relationship with wisdom or with folly. And you and I, we were made to be in a relationship with wisdom. Because if we're in a right relationship with God, He's going to do some pretty amazing things. And we said that wisdom has a name. Do you remember this? And His name is Jesus Christ. And you all wisdom begins at that point. It begins in a relationship with Jesus Christ. It begins with you saying, Lord, I submit what is in my own mind as wisdom. I submit it to you. I confess it to you. And I embrace what you call wisdom. And I want to live differently. I want to walk in that light. I want to walk in that wisdom. I want to be that person. Because it's through a relationship with Jesus Christ that we become wise. It's not by just racking up more knowledge. That's not going to change it, is it? It won't do it. What does it is a relationship with wisdom with Jesus Christ Himself. And so let me just ask you, have you taken that first step toward being wise? Are you in a relationship with wisdom? Or are you persisting today in being a fool?